It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Well, yes, it is time for Mornings at 8, and here we are, just about 5 minutes after 8 o'clock on a Wednesday morning. Wednesday, halfway through the week. From here, you can just see the weekend coming up over the horizon. It'll be here soon enough. Well, a very close vote in Hornell. Voters turned down a capital improvement project for the schools. I really wasn't expecting that, but they did. They turned it down, although it was a very close vote. But the voters had their say, and there we are. Oh, well, this is an absolutely gorgeous time of year. I just love Christmas. I can't tell you how much I love it. I mean, the decorations outside, the atmosphere, the whole thing, and more people are now decorating the outside of their houses, and it looks absolutely great. And some are just pretty spectacular. I mean, they really are. Downtown Hornell itself is decorated. That looks really nice, too, as is the village of Alfred. Alfred's done a pretty good job of decorating their downtown, as have the residents of Alfred. Now, I haven't been to Canisteo or Arkport in maybe 2 or 3 weeks or something, so I don't know, but I'm sure that they might be decorated, too. Who knows? Anyway, but it's a great time of year. You gotta love it. And driving in this morning, I don't know what made me think of this. I don't know. I think I have an interest in history. And we've received just a little bit of snow, not bad, just a little bit. But I thought, we have snow plows, right? We have snow plows and we have sand and salt trucks and all that stuff. We take care of the roads. And I kind of wonder, I don't know how I'd find this out, but I wonder how people dealt with snow in centuries past. I mean, how did they deal with snow on the roads? We've had roads or trails or something as long as there have been people, right? And snow has been around as long as there have been people. How did people clear roads? Let's say in the 18th century, or the 17th, or the 16th, or at any time in his. How did they clear roads? Did they have like horses with a plow in back of the horse or something? Or I don't know. Or did it take a gazillion people with shovels to clear the roads? But however it was, it must have been backbreaking work. I mean, it's not easy now keeping roads clear. And years ago, it was pretty much impossible. I don't know. I don't even know how I'd find out how. I could try to search history of snow removal or not. I don't know. Anyway, I was just, oh, well, and there we go. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Do you think it's a good idea to sell alcohol in movie theaters? It's kind of weird. But where did I get this? I don't remember where I got it. Where did I get this? Oh my. I don't know. But anyway, this is Dateline in Buffalo. The New York State Senate has been trying to pass a law for years to allow all movie theaters in the state to sell alcohol if they want to. And it's passed in the Senate, but it's never quite gotten through the Assembly. So when the new legislative session starts in Albany next month, this is December, it starts in January, I wonder, if the bill will be voted on or make it through the Assembly. Do you think it's really a good idea to sell alcohol in movie theaters? Now, it can be sold if the movie theater is classified as a restaurant. But I don't get it. You're either a restaurant or you're a movie theater. So how would you have a movie theater classified as a restaurant? But apparently it can be done. There's at least one in Buffalo. It's a theater, but it's classified as a restaurant. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine going to order a large bucket of popcorn and a six-pack. Or a vodka tonic or something. Yeah, I'll have a vodka tonic and a bucket of popcorn. I don't know.
Are you old enough to remember smell-o-vision?
Smell-o-vision?
It was something we learned about in communications class in college. It was like a 1950s or 60s thing. A short-lived thing. That it only worked for 1 or 2 movies. They put these machines in movie theaters, so like when Marilyn Monroe would come out, you'd smell perfume.
Oh,
kind of thing.
Yes. That's God. I haven't thought of it in years. Smell-o-vision. Okay, yeah, that's okay. So what? you would, huh? Okay, so they had smell-o-vision in theaters. All right, that sounds
didn't
good.
last long.
So you would have like what, alcohol breath coming out of the screen or something to
That kind of thing.
I don't know. I don't think it's such a hot idea to have alcohol sold in movie theaters. People can get just a little rowdy, except here in Hornell, of course, like never. But anyway, so that might be coming up on the agenda in January. Alcohol in the movie theaters. And what? Oh, this is something else. I found this on Wham's website, the WHAM in Rochester. Remember Flutie Flakes? In the Wayback Machine, 1998. Yeah. Wegmans was selling Flutie Flakes. Let me see, 98, 08, 18, 21 years ago. 21 years ago, this thing was a phenomenon. It really was. But Doug Flutie, if you don't remember, probably all of us do, but there might be some younger people out there, who knows. But Doug Flutie was a quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. And for some reason, he just took off. He had like a cult following or something. Matter of fact, I know a lady who was so enamored of Doug Flutie, I thought that she was going to start stalking the guy or something. And she bought about 85 boxes of Flutie Flakes. Okay. I don't know what her problem was, but she was a big fan of Doug Flutie, and she bought box after box of Flutie Flakes.
Over at Ace's Country Kitchen in Belfast,
Yeah.
Allegheny County,
Yeah.
they have a box of those up on the wall.
In a display case. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
So Wegmans is going to start selling Flutie Flakes again later this month. The sales are related to a ceremony at New Era Field on Sunday, December 8th, that's this coming Sunday, as the Buffalo Bills take on the Baltimore Ravens. And Doug Flutie, former Bills quarterback Doug Flutie, will return to Orchard Park to be honored as the legend of the game. So, Wegmans stores start carrying this cereal again next week. Now, Flutie Flakes, that strange thing, originally sold 2.3 million boxes of the cereal in 1998, according to ESPN. 2.3 million boxes of the cereal. Anyway, the cereal will be available online at PLB Sports in 2-packs for, get this, $15, starting next week. I don't eat breakfast cereal, but $15 for 2 boxes of cereal seems a little excessive. I don't know. I don't eat this cereal. Anyway, a portion of the proceeds, if that seems steep, a portion of the proceeds from cereal sales will benefit the Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation for Autism. So that's a very, very good cause. So I guess it seems a little steep, but if it's going to the Foundation for Autism, yeah, I think that's a good idea. But boy, that was such a major thing. Flutie Flake. Now, Doug Flutie, I found out, is 5'9". He's 5 feet 9 inches tall. Now, most of the guys on the field are like, what, 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". So here's little 5'9" Doug Flutie, a quarterback, trying to throw a pass. Now I'm 5'9", right? I'm 5'9". And I'm thinking, if you were standing on a field with a bunch of NFL players around you trying to find a receiver, it would be like trying to throw a football in a forest. I mean, all you see is the backs of people, huge people, you know what I mean? So that's why he ran around and jumped around all the time, I guess, because he just couldn't see. He couldn't see his receivers. Oh, anyway, so that's that. Okay, that takes care of Flutie Flakes. And moving on, we have, apparently, there's an ordinance in Wausau, Wisconsin, that forbids throwing snowballs. You cannot throw a snowball in Wausau, Wisconsin. So if you're into throwing snowballs, avoid Wausau, Wisconsin. Anyway, snowballs are lumped in with missiles, rocks, and arrows, none of which you are allowed to throw in Wausau, Wisconsin. So the ordinance decrees that you can't throw snowballs anywhere on public property, not on sidewalks, city streets, or at school. If you do, you could be fined. It's really, who's this? The mayor of Wausau, Robert Milkey. Okay? Robert Milkey. He said, it's really in the interest of public safety. A lot of it is just consideration and common sense. You don't throw stuff at people, period. That's what he said. So Milkey says the ordinance was brought forward years ago after some issues with projectiles. Although the cops can't remember any time ever when someone was actually fined for throwing a snowball. But nonetheless, kids throw snowballs. I mean, it's part of being a kid. And some adults do too, you know. But kids throw snowballs. So why? It isn't like you're throwing a rock at somebody. I mean, it's a snowball. But apparently it's you can't throw snowballs in Wausau, Wisconsin. So if you go there, try to avoid doing that. And from there we move on to there's another climate conference going on in Spain, in Madrid. It started Monday of this week. And it's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty serious stuff going on there. Let me see. The UN chief, what's his name, Antonio Guterres, warned Sunday, ahead of the key climate conference, that we have reached a point of no return. That's what he said. He said, for many decades, the human species has been at war with the planet. And now the planet is fighting back. Okay, he said. And he decries the utterly inadequate efforts of major economies to curb carbon emissions. He said, we are confronted with the global climate crisis, and the point of no return is no longer over the horizon. It's in sight and hurtling toward us. Guterres flagged a UN report to be released yesterday, confirming the last 5 years are the warmest on record, with 2019 likely to be the second hottest ever. So he's pretty alarmed about this stuff. And let me see. He says we have to cut down the global temperature by, 1.5 degrees centigrade. And he says that's doable, but we're going entirely too slow. But he said that apparently we've reached the point of no return. That's it. And a number of countries which produce the most carbon emissions, China, India, Russia, and Brazil, want nothing to do with it. So what comes down to, it's probably all in the United States. I don't understand that. But that's what he said. Okay, now where are we here? That was that. And then we have this. And if you think that this thing is a joke, or people are overreacting, there is a Danish academic who says the UN might use military to enforce climate agenda. The military. This I got from Breitbart. The United Nations may resort to military action against states that defy its mandates on global climate action, according to Ole Weaver. He is a prominent international relations professor at the University of Copenhagen. In an interview with ABC News in Australia, he cautions that what he sees as climate inaction might draw the UN into considering other means to ensure its goals are met, even if that leads to, quote, global armed conflict. For climate change. Global armed conflict. Professor Weaver says more resistance to change could potentially threaten democracy, although the UN would counter that the end justified the means, in much the same way countries like Greece had their debt crisis solutions forced on them by European Union bureaucrats in Brussels and Strasbourg. Wow. Military force to enforce action on climate change. That seems pretty weird. Now, the name of this climate change thing going on there in Spain, in Madrid, is called COP25, COP25. And the gathering will consider a wide agenda of global action, including implementing taxes on developed countries to transfer wealth to nations dealing with the cost of drought, floods, and superstorms made worse by rising temperatures. a wide agenda implementing taxes on developed countries. What country would be the most developed in the world? Let me see. No. Probably the United States. There we go. Including implementing taxes on developed countries to transfer wealth to nations dealing with the cost of drought, floods, and superstorms made worse by rising temperatures. Okay, very good. I think everything's becoming pretty darn clear now. I mean, it's really becoming very, very unmistakably clear. Okay, military force taxes on developed countries such as the United States. And from here we go to, remember Greta Thunberg? The little 16-year-old school dropout there, who everybody is all, enamored of. Matter of fact, a couple of people or organizations have likened her to Joan of Arc, which I find very offensive. If you know the real story of Joan of Arc, it's no joke. I mean, it was really brutal, and she underwent some really, really bad stuff. So to compare this little truant to Joan of Arc is just way over the top. Anyway, where was I? Calm down. So Greta Thunberg, of course, she's part of this conference. She tweeted, "It is a crisis." Okay, in her latest public statement, she says the climate crisis is not just about the environment. What a surprise! She tweeted, "It's a crisis of human rights, of justice, and of political will. Colonial, racist, and patriarchal systems of oppression have created and fueled it, and we need to dismantle them all." Which kind of coincides with something I had a number of weeks ago when they had one of these extreme green whack jobs. He said, this climate crisis thing isn't about the climate at all. And I had that, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months ago. He said, this isn't about the climate at all. It's about changing the system. So you have to admire his honesty, right? Right. It's not about the climate. It's about changing the system under which we have lived for a long, long time. Okay, fine. Yes, that's all. Greta Thunberg, and there she goes. Let me see here. Insurance. Everybody needs insurance, right?
Here.
You can't. Who? What?
I should be back in school.
That's Greta.
On the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope.
Okay, fine. Very good. That's what we'll do at some point. Okay. The Ryan agencies. Insurance. Everyone needs insurance. You cannot get by without insurance, especially in these uncertain times. Okay, they are insurance experts. They know all about insurance, and the average person does not. You really got to know what you're doing because insurance is pretty complicated. They are insurance experts. They have access to all these insurance companies. So if you need insurance, they will find the best company and the best rates for you. That is what they do every day. That's their job. They offer sound, unbiased advice. They're friendly. They're local. They are the Ryan agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In the latest college football playoff rankings, the top four is unchanged. Ohio State is number 1, followed by LSU, Clemson, and Georgia. The new number 5 is Utah. The new number 6, Oklahoma. All 6 teams will be in action this Friday and Saturday in conference title games. LSU goes head-to-head with Georgia in the SEC Championship. NFL news: the Carolina Panthers fired their head coach Ron Rivera. The team was struggling with a 5-7 record this year. Rivera was in his 9th season as head coach in Carolina. He's the team's all-time winningest coach. In NBA games of note, Lakers beat the Nuggets 105-96. LA is now 18-3 on the year, tied with Milwaukee with the best record in the league. Clippers topped the Trailblazers 117-97. It was the Spurs over the Rockets 135-133 in double overtime. James Harden in the loss for Houston had 50 points. Overtime for the Heat to beat the Raptors 121-110. College basketball, number 1 Louisville, a winner over 4th-ranked Michigan 58-43.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are moving higher after Bloomberg News reported that the U.S. may still reach phase 1 of a trade deal with China this month. Stocks had a big drop yesterday. This after President Trump said there's no deadline for a China deal, and he wouldn't mind waiting until after next year's election. December 15th is the deadline for new U.S. tariffs on certain Chinese goods if there is no deal. There's a big change at Google. The company's co-founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, are giving up their management roles at Google's parent company, Alphabet. They will remain on the company board. Google CEO Sundar Pichai will take over as CEO of the parent company while retaining his Google title. The two co-founders say, "We've never been ones to hold on to management roles when we think there's a better way to run the company." That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Roger Stern, invested in you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Today at Simmons Rockwell, now with 2,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock, you'll find these prior rental values. 2019 all-wheel drive Nissan Rogue Sport S models equipped with a rear view monitor, cruise control, Bluetooth, and 12,000 to 18,000 miles for only $16,099. See the savings online at Simmons-Rockwell.com and shop the Simmons Rockwell dealership near you.
Okay, and here we are. Now, during the break, Brian told me that he was cruising around the New York Daily News website, and he found a story. This is Governor Cuomo's birthday. That's right. That's right. Happy birthday, Governor Cuomo. But apparently, at his birthday party, there's a group of... What, Brian?
It's several socialist groups.
Okay. And they're going to
protest him because he has not yet passed the billionaire's tax.
A billionaire's tax. Okay, so he hasn't passed the billionaire's tax. Not nearly left enough.
Yeah, I looked up the groups. None of them were Soros groups. You know, I got thinking. I wonder how, because they sounded like they had those kind of names like Community for New York Action.
Yeah, blah blah names. Blah. Yeah. Now, what did AOC
and they were not, but they are on the same page according to the New York Daily News' AOC.
Huh. So AOC said she criticized the governor because he isn't left enough. He isn't far left enough. That's amazing.
Yeah,
okay,
he's more of a Main Street Democrat.
Yeah, well, anyway, so he hasn't passed the billionaire's tax. Well, of course, it would never affect me. So, I don't know. Hey, there you go. Okay, very good. Happy birthday, Governor Cuomo. Let me see. How much time we have here? Okay, how much time do you spend watching TV? I got this this is a great website called Study Finds. There were all kinds of studies on all kinds of weird stuff. This study found 2,000 British adults, found that the average person spends more than 78,000 hours watching TV during their lifetime. The exact number, which was here like somewhere, except I've misplaced it. That's right, 78,705 hours of watching TV in a lifetime. Now, I did a little math, and it comes out to about 9 years. 9 years of your lifetime is spent watching TV. Boy, that seems like a lot of time to stare at a television set. But anyway, on a day-to-day basis, the average adult watches TV for 3.5 hours, amounting to 1,248 hours each year. The survey commissioned by LG Electronics broke down those numbers even further and concluded that the average adult these days will spend 3,639 movies, will watch 3,639 movies at home and 31,507 episodes of TV during their lifetime. As far as different programs, the average person will watch 11,278 different TV series as well. And most people say they cannot get by without their TV. Most houses have more than 2 TVs, and some have as many as 8. Boy, okay, maybe Hallmark movies are okay, right? And old reruns of NCIS are okay, but man, that seems like a heck of a lot of time spent watching TV and all the commercials. Good grief. Anyway, okay, that seems to be it for this morning's show, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.